Craig Bero. I'm the proprietor of a little cafe called Pleasanton, Maine, cafe and general store in Housatonic, Mass. Housatonic kind of stands out as I look out the windows up at the mountain. It's an old Native American word that means the place beyond the mountains. And here we are in a valley right underneath a Native American sacred spot on the mountain where they probably spoke of many such things as they looked out over the mountains and their spirituality. And it's kind of an interesting spot to sit in these unusual times. And I realize we're in a place where the old Native Americans saying to remember what you have seen, because everything forgotten returns to the circling winds. It seems to be more appropriate than ever as we're struggling through this pandemic. And I realize being in a small town, I've seen something after 40 years in the restaurant business that it's almost unspeakable, the acts of grace and gratitude and generosity that have been forthcoming in a local community. You realize that the fabric of a small town and a community is what it's all about. And everyone that's been reaching forward to help us to survive and to be able to put out a family supper each night for a modest cost that, might be for people that don't quite have the means to have that dinner or don't quite feel safe to go to the market. I'm here in my restaurant alone, and at times I have Sisto, a friend of mine who's worked with me for 30 years, a lifetime of being a restaurateur in New York. Just the two of us, so we're the only people that will handle the product each day. And it's just something I've never witnessed before. It's like this little village, which kind of has always been lost in time. Now the charm of it just stands out more than ever, as the lilacs are about to come in bloom, and the original Polish and Italian immigrants that settled here and brought those bushes from the old country. Now we'll be able to walk in the village and see them blossoming. To sustain what I'm doing each day, I'll begin with, this morning, for example. We have to, when the pantry's bare, we have to make do with what I can for tonight's supper. Today, harvesting fiddlehead ferns from the mountain, going to an old farm and getting the first of the rhubarb. Instead of leeks and buying, I can go up and pick ramp and wild ginger, and back in the garden we'll be growing all of our own herbs, so we're able to sustain to this point what we had in the root cellar, our organic potatoes from last year. So we're really able to use the earth to put that meal out each day. And it's beautiful because as people bring things, Al Hansen brings my maple syrup, and Dawn brings me blueberries or frozen berries that they collected from nature last fall that we're able to use and integrate, into what we're cooking that day. You have a whole nother appreciation. I never really liked the phrase farm to table because I grew up on a farm in northern Wisconsin, and I kind of been doing it my whole life. I always had cow shit on my shoes and, from milking cows. So I kind of know what it's all about. But to be able to translate now and at 5 o'clock when they pick up our community supper for 10 or 12 bucks, and they're getting soup and an entree and cookies or dessert. You know, they're getting a whole meal for an affordable price that we've really put our heart into. It's like cooking every day Thanksgiving dinner. And I don't know, there's almost a, I don't really understand that stuff, but a spirituality or a religiosity to it. All I know is that it's something I feel if we go down, it's going to be with honor, because I know we're doing the right thing. You know, just ingrained in me, we're doing the right thing to get through this ourselves, and more importantly for other people. And you know, the case in point, you know, in my wildest dreams, this is from the past 3 days. I mean, where, you know, in 40 years of being in the restaurant business, do you get stacks of thank you notes for takeout? It's mind-boggling. You know, it's like with the internet and TV, people forgot how to use a pen and ink. Now people sit down and they write you a note. Every day, it almost brings me to tears. One of a dear friend and customer, Jane Airedale, took her cosmetic company and changed it into production to make hand sanitizer. So every customer with their dinner, I can hand them a hand sanitizer. I mean, this is good stuff of people that have a good heart, and you know, and it's kind of like we have a little bit of experience doing that. I was going through some old stuff, and I found an old cafe I had in New York 30 years ago, you know, called Anglers and Writers, and out of it fell stuff that I realized when people question the safety of what we're doing. I guess if we have a little bit of experience, you know, I had a thing from President Obama after 9/11 when we were doing dinners for the White House during the reconstruction of 9/11. And then Hurricane Sandy, you know, from Mike Bloomberg from the city of New York, certificate of recognition. You know, we were the only cafe that was open, again, doing what we know how to do, to try to serve, you know, in a time of need. What the future holds, who knows? First it was week by week, day by day. Now it's minute by minute, and making those decisions accordingly. But on my end, just reducing what we're doing, you know, to the utter simplicity and cutting away anything that's not necessary to focus. My focus today will be to get out in the garden and to get our strawberries and herbs planted, so our customers, when permissible, will be able to walk in our garden and pick berries and hand them to me, and we'll be able to make our crepes from things that are harvested right here. In the meantime, I'm building. People are welcome to come in the shop and see what we've been doing all winter, just building and refinishing tables, and the store part of it, use whatever half-assed carpentry skills I have to, you know, build tables out of slabs of wood and refinish furniture and try to create objects and, you know, give a character to the store. You know, it enables me to each day to try to have a focus, and I realize that's really important. But then at the end of the day, to light the fire and think of the next day's menu, which I never know till I get to the farms and collect what I have, and I'll have an idea. Somehow the wood smoke and watercress by the fire out back will inspire me and give me the strength to, you know, to move on. And, you know, friends of mine who keep that link, who have been incredibly pitching in, you know, even if it's via social media, which is something that I don't understand. I guess we're doing a video for a website, you know? I've never seen our website. You know, my dearest love and confidant and friend in the world, Pascal, handles that from a mountain village like this in Corsica. You know, each day I'll send her a note and a picture, and then she does something with it because people are finding us, you know, via that media. So hopefully the word of mouth, that it'll enable us with an opportunity to, you know, to move on and to keep trying to develop a artistry and solemnity, integrity above all of what we're doing. You know, and that means so much to me right now, you know, the organic egg, and to really work with products that philosophically I agree with the farmer who's raising them. And then to walk at night and to see the soft lights in our small village where people are sitting down at their own dinner table having that meal. It's something you haven't seen in so long. Much more interesting than driving in town and seeing packed restaurants. In the meantime, let's get food on the table. Let's grow food. Let's get it on the table so people can sit on their porch, sit down with their family, and be thankful. We are now open 7 days a week. We always open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Right now we are focusing on a nightly community supper, which we are serving 7 days a week. That's available between 5 and 7 o'clock. It's 3 items each day that we prepare specifically for that evening and pick up. And then on the weekends, we are doing Saturday and Sunday brunch from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We can be reached at 413-274-6303 or to visit our website at pleasantonmaine.com.